conversation on how we get to this paper. Invest into your motivation. That's hard work and dedication. You can tell them in the circle who hating. So kill them in the formation. I swear to God we gon' make it. I'm a Lou Hop to here to Las Vegas. Give me that Remy shot with no chaser. And keep the sanity sacred. Ungrateful chicks, we gon' chase them. Tatiana looking for blue faces. Say them homie, I'm a boss king with a boss queen.
Okay.
And we with a boss team. Every day I be saucing. Cause I go hard for my offspring. I'm a busy man with a business plan.
Yeah, I try to add every friend on my friend list. That's what I do.
These loose ends. So this is how we gon' pop out with another one from Sky
I seen
Styles.
100 of them already.
Like chess, you better get right before you get left. Let's go.
Nigga, ain't no stop, I swear to God, I gotta make it. Do it for the ones who stood around me while you hang.
Yeah.
If you ain't talking business, then I'm not in obligation.
Yeah.
I don't need no new friends, all about the paper. Ain't no stop, I swear to God, I gotta make it. Do it for the ones who stood around me while you hang. If you ain't talking business, then I'm not in obligation. I don't need no new friends, all about the paper. Yeah.
One said it again.
Y'all know we back, and we alive, we fresh, we feeling good. We are on the Philosophy Show. You are here with your boy Tweezy the Don.
Yes, sir. Smoke love.
Bird Bezel in the building.
Yes, sir.
Bird Bezel in the building, man. This what? I don't even know what this like the 6th episode. I lost count, man.
We just
Oh,
rolling,
we
baby.
moving along. We keeping it pushing, ain't we, man?
Man, we keeping it pushing. Every day, every Sunday, I look forward to coming here and chilling with my homeboys, man. And I just want to start this one off with, let's talk about what we feel good about today. You know what I'm saying? I know for some, I ain't even finna go there on that. Today feels like a day to do that. Like to appreciate and be grateful for what you have. You know what I'm saying? So I started off, I'm very, very grateful for the people that's around me, man.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard. Like I'm just gonna be honest, like just from growing up to now, it's a blessing to have good people around you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You never know where you'll find them. You know what I'm saying? You think it's your mama, you think it's your daddy. It could have been. I mean, God bless. I made it to this day. It's some people that don't.
Yeah.
So
You talking about the good people that support you, or the good people you just love? They don't have to do nothing for you.
I'm talking about both.
Hopefully, okay.
Both appreciate it for real, cause I seen an argument happen before my eyes, and wasn't nobody wrong in the argument.
Well, like a relationship argument or a family argument?
Family argument. It was a family argument, but they wasn't all blood. But it was family. You know, team argument. I say it like that.
Right.
And sometimes the quarterback don't appreciate. You know what I'm saying?
The receiver, wasn't it?
Well, not or probably the running back.
Right.
Because all he got to do is hand him off the ball.
Yeah.
He got to hold that ball. He got to run with that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So appreciate the people that's around you, man. And that's what I'm doing right now. I appreciate the people that's around me.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Smoke.
Yeah, man. Ironically, me and my guy was chopping it up the other day on the deck, smoking a cigar, and we was talking about that. So something simple as like appreciate your taste buds.
Yeah.
You know. So we you know what's crazy is it's like it's a follow up on a conversation we had yesterday. So you know like I say, man, I can't say it too many times, bro. I mean, the only way you can be great, you gotta be grateful.
Got to.
That's the only way, you know. But
Yeah, we was talking about what, like how people had the COVID and they lost their taste bud.
Yeah.
Like how precious that is just to taste something.
Yeah, that's true.
That people don't even realize that, man. Like if you lost your taste buds, what would a menu be to you after that? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be nothing.
It wouldn't be
you wouldn't want to order nothing, go nowhere.
As long as it's not hard and
Be what? I can't taste the hot wings. I can't.
yeah, so
But
that's
precious,
that's
man.
most definitely something to be grateful for. You know, something simple as your taste buds, man. But yeah, man, just to be able to move around freely.
All day.
You understand me? That's something I'm very grateful for because it been situation I couldn't move around freely.
Yeah.
So you know what? I can go on, and the list you dig is the many as counts of the grains of sand for me being grateful.
All day.
So yeah, I'm gonna cut that short for sure.
And I'm
The
gonna follow up with it with being grateful for. You know how some people be worried about the bills. I hope they put them to the side. I'm grateful for. I love to look at my bill. Like, what y'all want now? I got it. There we go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, I feel so grateful.
Whooping
to
these
do
bills'
that.
asses.
Oh man, what y'all gonna give to me next? I got something put up for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful to just like some people just they hide the disconnection notices and hide the everything that you got to pay attention to. Then when life start crumbling apart in front of them, they're like, damn.
Uppercut, body head, body head, body head. Yeah.
You should have took care of them situations. You wouldn't be in the predicament you in the future. You just setting yourself up for failure in the future when you don't take care of your responsibilities ahead of time.
Got that right, bro.
You know what I'm talking about?
You got some people so silly, man, that they get gas in the car when they run out. You supposed to put gas in your car, keep from running out, bro. You know, so some people just ass backwards like that, man. You dig?
Hey, I ain't even speak on that 'cause that's kind of close to home, but I never, ever been around somebody who really ran out of gas.
Bro,
my partner just ran out of gas. He keep $1,000 in his pocket. You know what just happened to me?
Yeah, something simple as that though.
I mean, you can have a pocket full of money and still don't
it ain't
pay
even
attention.
about money.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
ain't.
about
You got
money.
to pay attention.
That's the whole thing. It's just like you say, you gotta properly prepare yourself for things. You understand me? So when an inevitable can happen, it won't happen because you already. I mean, you know.
Especially running out of gas.
Yeah, it be something.
That's definitely preparation.
It be something simple like that, but people will run it, bro, until it get past E. Say, oh, I got another 10 miles to go, bro. It's leaning. It's on the red line, and then the reason why you don't allow that to happen, so you can save your fuel pump. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your injectors, all that stuff, man. You know, so it's like preventing maintenance.
All them future consequences.
Yeah, it's preventing maintenance, and only maintenance you gotta do is stop at the gas store, man. Put gas in your car, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least if you can't afford to fill it up, at least put it at a half a tank.
At least.
You know, and then if you can't do that, keep a water hose with you.
Keep that gas can.
Keep a water hose at a gas can with you. They might be talking over some people's head. I'm not promoting no extracurricular activities.
All right, brother. Let's give it up for appreciation.
Yes, sir. Appreciation. Yes, sir. Salute you.
Salute you.
Yes,
So we gonna start this motherfucker off, man. I want to thank my brother Smoke Love. For this.
Hello.
For this to bring this conversation up, because I think this is one of the character traits that makes certain people who they are.
Flat out.
You know what I'm saying? It's 7 of the Army values. I didn't even know it until I got into the military.
Yeah.
And it's integrity.
Hello.
You know, hold on, I left let me get my buck. So, you know, the 7 values of the armies is loyalty, duty, respect, self-service, honor, and integrity, and then personal courage. You know, and I remember they asked me which one of those was the most important. And integrity was. Because, you know, basically, I'll give you the definition of it in the dictionary or whatever. It say the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Basically your moral uprightness. And what I get out of that, it's a lot of words in there, but the most thing with me is not being corrupted. You know what I'm saying? Like just not giving in to just cause somebody say like I said, I done stole shit and I done did whatever, but
We all
when
got
somebody
flaws.
come to your face and ask you, did you steal? I ain't talking about the police. I'm talking about your mama. Or you know what I'm saying? Something you did, you know what I'm saying? You did wrong. If you going to steal at the store, you know you're stealing at the store.
Yeah.
It becomes another integrity after that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to snitch on your boys, you go whatever, you're going to take it, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, when it comes to your peoples and it comes to your morals, when your mama come and ask you, boy, did you blah, blah, blah?
Right.
And you can, I mean, yeah, you're going to test them once or twice, but after a while, all my daddy had to say, dude, if you lie to me or you don't lie to me, I'm whooping your ass.
Right.
Which one I'm going to choose? Am I just going to lie? I know I'm going to get my ass whooped. I might well say the shit.
You messing up your own future.
He already know.
You already know.
He already know the answer
You know what I'm saying?
when it came to you.
So that's how you know, like, during my youth, that's how I knew I had integrity. Because I knew these grown people already knew what the fuck I did. It only took me like twice to think I was slick. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like when they telling you to your face what you doing and you like, this motherfucker still will lie.
Flat out. With a straight face. And knowing that you know already investigated, knowing that you already know the
You
truth
got
with
the
a straight
answers.
face.
Yeah.
So that's what was more like, that was like the most important to me, integrity, because I always had that conscience. And not a bad conscience, just a conscience just to letting me know that I'm aware of what I'm doing. Not telling me, oh, you should be good or you should be bad.
Right.
It's just that awareness. I took it upon myself to be who I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying?
You say what?
So
Yeah. And for me to elaborate on it, man, integrity. You dig? It's all about what you stand for, what you represent, what you're known for. You know, your reputation.
all day.
You know, so if you
For sure.
if you known for the foolery, if you known for cowardice, if you known for all the opposite thing what integrity stand for, maybe that ain't one of your qualities.
Maybe it's not.
So you know, the stand for something, then the fall for anything, is one of the recipes in integrity. So you gonna most definitely have to lean on some truth, some facts.
all
You
day.
know what I'm saying? So and like I said with truth, that you can throw anything at it, throw anything on it, and they gonna withstand anything that you put in its way and anything you put on top of it. Because once you unbury it, hey brother, how you doing? And once you unbury that truth, it gonna remain the same. Period. So you know, so that integrity, most definitely, man, is one of the main recipes. You dig in a foundation that should be in somebody's life when it come down to living.
all day.
You know, so like I said, we're dealing with a lot of chefs, man, and you know that's a beautiful recipe to add to to add to your spice rack.
All day.
You know, and like I say, it'll stand up and stand out when you walk in the room. You know, you shouldn't have to tell nobody that. They already
Right.
see it. You know, then if you've been affiliated out here, they already know it.
All day.
So it'll speak for you, man, when other things and other people won't.
That's real.
You know, so I mean, you know, that's what I think about that word, man.
Integrity.
It stands for a lot. It's a 3D thing. It be up and in your face.
And that's a great quality for someone to say that you have.
Yes, sir. It is.
So
Yes, sir. Let's introduce my man that just came into the building.
I want to get them set up real quick.
Okay.
Let Bird handle that while I get them.
Okay, cool. Bizzle.
Yeah, yeah.
Introduce who you just brought into the building,
Mr.
man.
Zaki Barudi in the building from UAPO, United African Peoples Organization.
Yes,
You
sir.
got your mic, get him set up. We getting his mic together.
Universal.
Yeah.
Universal.
Yeah, Universal African People.
Yeah, so basically you did with the integrity. We're gonna follow up on that too. You did right quick. What you got to add to that? What you got to add to that?
What's that with the integrity?
Yeah. Well, the subject matter.
When I was thinking about the moral aspect of integrity,
Uh-huh.
I think about like Tweezy was talking about, like what to distract you from it. It's a lot of things that distract you from having moral principle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's up to you to have the value within yourself to recognize.
Oh.
And like I have to continue to be this person that, cause it's something that grow on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I have to continue to be this person forever because it's bringing me good value in the relationships with the people that I meet. Because the people you meet also, they can tell if you got values and principles and morals and standards about yourself just by the character that you that exude out your.
It's more definitely a learned behavior, no doubt.
So with me, it's like once I get something like that within my soul, sort of say, it's something that I value having within myself, and I don't want to mess that up.
Man,
I'm never gonna mess that up.
What you say? What you say? What you say? What you say? The salt and pepper and the spice might get low, but
man,
you did.
If it tastes good, I want it to continue to taste good forever.
Yes,
I want
sir.
the same recipe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's where I stand with that, man.
Yeah, man, you did good. Most definitely, man. That like I say, it's to me, it's really it's like a learned behavior too. No, we got a lot of things that we learn, when that it'll rub off on you, dig, and then once you found out it's wrong, you gotta do a lot of backpedaling. You gotta do a lot of apologizing. Because especially with a man knows something wrong, he like to go back. Hey, man, my bad. Hey.
Got to.
Yeah, maybe I can redeem myself by talking to you and telling you, I apologize, for what I said, what I put you through. I just didn't know no better at the time.
Yeah. And it's up to that person to have a strong heart to forgive you for
Exactly.
whatever you done did.
Exactly.
That's the key word, strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is, once you done your part, man, you done your part, bro. You know what I'm saying? You when you trying to redeem yourself, I'm trying to do a good deed.
You doing that for you and them.
Exactly. But I'm trying to do a good deed. If you refuse this good deed, hey, it ain't gonna change the fact it's a good deed.
and speaking on with my brother Zaki, I joined his I joined his organization about 4 years ago. It's been a little minute now. And part of my initiation into my membership with joining this organization was based on part of integrity. It was based on finding some type of structured organization that I can give my time to, and I can build trust with that organization. And you know what I'm saying? And Zaki Barudi, he'll let you in if he see you fighting for the people and you got, your head screwed on straight, and
Yes, sir.
well, other than that, you might you ain't gonna get too many invites to.
Hey, that's what's up. That's a good leeway into talking.
Yeah, but and when we come back from the break, we'll get a chance to, we're gonna introduce Zaki Barudi into the podcast, and he gonna tell you a little bit of what the organization is about.
Okay.
And if you feel it within your heart that you want to come join the UAPO, you can inbox me or inbox Zaki Barudi and give us some information.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, before we go on break, though, we gotta, cause we want to get you in on the conversation. We're talking about integrity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, give us your spiel on how you feel about having that characteristic or just the word integrity.
Okay, first of all, let me just thank you both, each of you men that's present here for just being present. I always get my strength even more so when in the presence of other strong black men.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And as a race of people, of course, in this century, that we have to take our place among all men on the planet Earth, because it's about who control the direction of civilization.
Yeah.
And if we sit on our behinds and we don't let others do what we know we're supposed to do. So I'm just honored to be among y'all. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
sir.
But you know what? I came in on the tail end of the description of integrity, and I would have to chime in with what I've heard already about it. But prior to coming here, I say, well, since you don't talk about integrity, and as a former educator, I said, let me look at the so-called definition of the word integrity.
That's what we all do. Look at the definition.
And according to one of the dictionaries that I looked up, integrity, it said the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles.
Yes,
I mean, that's real deep, you know, in terms of trying to, as a human being, to exemplify that, because we go through life one time. And as life looks upon us, would we be of strong principle? Will we be honest? Because in this society, there are so many instances that you can be tempted or misguided to do foolish things,
Distractions.
which happen so many times in our community.
Yeah.
And so it's about, and I love that word, because I try as best I can to exemplify that in terms of, number one, as a man to another man, or as a man to a woman. As best I can, I would always want to be honest.
Right.
And then undergirding all of that, when it talks about having strong moral principles, it takes me back to the principle that we ought to be our brothers and sisters keepers.
Yes, sir.
You know, to make, and as well as one of the upbringings is that if you have strong moral characteristics, then you should be about the principle of doing a daily deed for your family and your community, you know. And when you talk about strong moral principles, but that gets super deep in terms of the role that you must play in our community when God allows you to see the kind of madness exists. Then you have some options that's before you. We are confronted.
It's like who can set the example to have these more like where do the people that don't have this type of characteristics, where do they learn to get it from? And like you said, it's so much madness out here.
But you know, you raise an interesting point though. Where do they get it from? Of course, the first interaction of developing moral principles starts with the family. Then if you look at the family, if it doesn't have a strong spiritual basis, which happens quite often in our community, then they miss it at that level. So then you can secondly get that moral principles from the people that you grew up with in the hood, you know, in the neighborhood. Then another component of possibly getting it is your education system. And if that's all jacked up, you know, then you know, you get confused. But it may be positive. You know, it depends on those folks that you interact with. And so those are the building blocks of integrity. And then you know, there's an old adage as we were growing up through the struggle, and I'm 73 years old. I always let folks know where I'm at right now. So I've seen a whole lot of things in life. But there used to be an old adage that every Negro is a potential black man. And I say, because many times we define a Negro as someone in this present day and age who's misguided, don't know of themselves, don't have that moral courage and principle, but they can possibly transform themselves.
They can.
Classic example, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X. Malcolm would publicly say he was in a state of absolute foolishness, total foolishness. But it was a set of circumstances that he was put in that had him to reassess where he's at in life.
That's right.
And out of that reassessment, then he grew, and he grew into a different set of morals than what he had prior.
Yeah.
And so that's that's for all of us in terms of we're in a transformative state of life that takes us from. I want to quote another powerful black leader that was made a difference in our community, and that was Huey Newton, who used to say that the consciousness of black people range from the letter A, where you're totally in a state of total foolishness, don't know nothing, all the way to Z. And a lot of us fall somewhere along there. Ideally, you want to be towards Z.
Correct.
And if you are towards Z, in terms of moral principles, then you got to exemplify. Faith without work is dead. Talking about you're a moral person, and if you ain't out
you
there
gotta show the
practicing what
actions.
you preach, that's bull. So that's my take on
And that's crazy that it ain't crazy that you said it, but you saying that's pretty much like I want the exemplify part. You got to put it in the universe. If you just thinking about it and saying it, like
don't mean nothing.
it don't mean
Nothing.
nothing.
And I say that with all sincerity, in terms of even looking at faith-based organizations. And when I say faith-based, I'm talking about the churches, I'm talking about the mosques, synagogues and everything.
Kingdom halls. All
If you're not out here, you talk about, saving souls, but the first point of saving a soul is helping a person survive. And one of for me, the sad part of our reality with thousands of the churches that's out here in our community, mosques and what have you, that our people are in the state that they're in physically. The kind of poverty, we got enough wealth among all of these faith-based institutions. The hell, overnight.
We just got it all at one time, just with the checks that was distributed out. The black community had a couple of $1 billion we can play with.
Hey. But again, it takes strong moral leadership that has a vision. And, that goes back to the other popular saying, people without a vision shall perish. And that goes back to that whole issue. Where are your morals? And the morals for me is the upliftment of us as a people.
That's right.
And for me, there have been great men among us, ancestors, that have exemplified moral standards. And I would have to first of all salute one of the most powerful people who had moral standards was the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As I mentioned, El-Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Sister Harriet Tubman,
Huey
Sister,
P. Newton.
We
list
could go
go
on
and on.
We have examples.
Yes.
So the question is, to anybody, all your millions of listeners, are you going to exemplify the spirit of integrity, which simply means having the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, and and sometimes it's not easy to be honest.
It's not.
It's
not.
And it's not easy to have those moral characteristics because if you fear is rampant. And history shows what can happen to you, if you are strong. But, again, I guess my reflection, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, there's no evil. Thou art with me. And
the key word is through. See, people get stuck. See, they understand. They got to pick up them jewels. You walking through. You passing through something. I ain't stuck. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm focused.
Right. I'm through.
That's absolutely correct.
All day. So let's go to a break, because I want to talk to this man off her a little bit. Y'all stay tuned to our live on the radio and on the Soldier by Blood television. But I want to ask a question, because I need this answer.
Now, when you finna go on break now, or you want that wise?
You already know.
He already. See, he told me to remind him.
I
So I'm gonna give you that wise quotes from your man Smoke. Love. So this thing here is called your actions. A person can love you deeply with their feelings and still not know how to love you correctly with their actions.
Yes.
Hold on.
Already.
Hold on.
Ow!
You gotta bring that back. Say that again.
Wow.
Actions.
Deep. That's
You said read it, boy.
Action.
Read it one more time for him, Smoke.
A person can love you deeply with their feelings and still not love you correctly with their actions.
I heard it. What we call it again?
Actions.
Wait a minute.
Like he say faith is dead without actions.
All day.
You know, and then just like you say, before you go on break, you know, it say your character, man, and your morals, and if you don't identify them things in them words, ain't no way you can come to terms with them.
All day. All day. So we about to go on a break, then we gonna come back with some more on integrity.
Integrity.
Listening to the
Philosophies.
Zakia, we get loose.
DJ Stiz on the beat. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. Talking shit to me can get your glass jaw shattered. I step up to the plate and swing on you like a batter. You nothing but a bitch, talking all the chit chatter. You fucking with me like your family, like don't really matter. Man, I like my weed loud, I don't like no loud bitch. You and that bad attitude, get your kick out real quick. I just smoke a lot of weed, I just ran through a zip. Gotta head back to Centralia, cause my homie got the shit. Just came from Mary, Illinois, dropping off a bitch. Tell the small town girls, don't know how to suck a dick. Me and Snake, stay on go, keep them drums for them sticks. Kevin Cuz, real G, ain't no Facebook shit. See, my people gon' be with me when I get up to the top. Cause my people is all we need, and my people is all we got. So we hustle hard up in the streets. You at the table, you gon' eat. Everybody gon' be on fleek. Brand new whips with no keys. I'm always on some money shit, I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm always on some money shit, I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm riding around getting it, I'm on my 2 Chainz shit. Always keep the hook up, yeah, I'm on my masterpiece shit. Every morning I rise and grind, I'm on my way to finish shit. Every day I'm getting dough, I'm on my tweets and Don shit. Keep 2 guns with 2 entertainment, I'm on my GN shit. Keep some soldiers round me in case y'all be up on some war shit. Always keep 100, half of that be that fake shit. If your baby mama fuck your partner, then bitch on that whole shit. See, I don't owe nobody nothing but probably an ass whipping. Never ran from nobody, you did no ass kissing. I don't tongue kiss these hoes, cause they be ass sticking. I'd rather be getting money than be in the club tricking. But if you see me throwing money on a bitch, I'm on my tricking shit. I fuck with DN for the win, and we don't fuck with that weak shit. We don't fuck with that lame shit. We don't fuck with that bum shit. We don't fuck with that whole shit. We don't fuck with that punk shit. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick. I'm always on some money shit. I'm never on no bum shit. Got a couple hoes, but I'm never on no hoe shit. When you see me smoking, you know I be smoking good shit. And if this bitch ain't sucking dick, she out the door real quick.
Y'all know who I fuck with. Y'all know who I fuck with. Always on
You started early, my brother.
Yeah, that's what we do every Sunday. We open our chest up, you know.
Is that apple crowd?
No, it's just regular.
Oh, that's just
You know,
right.
they say when you drink it, it make you tell the truth, and that's what I want to do on this.
He said true serum.
Oh yeah. We are back on the philosophies. We got our special guest in here, man. We were talking about integrity, so we want you to go ahead and give our audience a little more in depth on what you do and
Talk about
your philosophy. But I got a question for you after you do that, cause
Well, you want to go for it first, and then
yeah, I might as well. So, cause I know, like you said, you've been through the struggle, so it's been this conversation throughout.
still going through it.
Yeah, we are.
Yes,
Yeah, we are.
Right.
We are. But with me, I try not to. It is the struggle, but I'm outside of the struggle, trying to figure it out on my end. I don't like thinking like I'm in the struggle. For some reason, it don't work for me. It make me feel like I'm in the position that I was in when it was about the struggle. It made me feel helpless. But I didn't have nobody like you around me either. So you know what I'm saying? I be understanding that type of stuff. But coming up, I looked up to, as when you young, you look up to whoever you looking up to. You don't know why, or you just young. So I know I used to look up to Martin Luther King, and I used to, when it came to the Bible, I thought Jesus' story was his story from just what I've heard. I didn't read, know nothing, none of that shit. I just knew that from what they said about Martin Luther King, he loved everybody. He only wanted to love everybody and all this stuff. But the older you get, the more you research. And I don't know. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't know because it's research. You don't know where these people giving you this information from. You don't know for real unless you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I started learning about Malcolm X. So now it's always in the black community or whatever community, I don't know. It was him. It's blah blah blah. I did Malcolm X story is extensively. You know his story. I believe like the stuff out there on him is true. Like it wasn't no bad shit. It was all pretty much. He was confused with wherever he was at.
That was the Red or Malcolm X?
Just all of it. Just
okay.
Period.
He was. His first name was Red, right? When he was Red in Detroit Red. Yeah.
I'm talking about his whole story.
Hustling.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this whole story.
Yeah.
His whole story, you can kind of see that it's not.
Like it seems like his story is more connectable with the American.
With us.
Yeah. Outside of what you were saying with Dr. Martin Luther King being faith-based, it's like.
It seemed like the story started with him there. I didn't hear anything about him young. Right. So you hear stuff about that he really was an informant. He really when I look at history, I don't see segregation as a bad thing financially for black people.
No, that was building the Black Wall Street and all that.
Let me. I'm glad you raised that whole issue of King and Malcolm.
Yeah. Because
the reality in our community, both of them are a reflection of our reality. Because and I've seen it in my life. I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois. I was born in Mississippi, Aberdeen, Mississippi. And I grew up where it was really poverty, totally poverty.
Yeah. Right.
We with the outhouse, outside toilet, but we had a super community though, network. In terms of friends. In fact, I was just hanging out with. I'm 73, as I said, and I was just this week with a couple of my childhood friends. So we had a great neighborhood. But going back to the dichotomy in our community. I grew up in a church atmosphere. There were many people out of our community that were in the church. But then at the same time, I had some partners that were, I call them gangsters. I appreciate them. Yeah, and their life was a little bit different from mine because I grew up in a two parents at home. Right. And many of my partners, some of them didn't have that situation. So that's the dichotomy in terms of our community. And Dr. King did grow up. His father had been a minister, so he grew up in that kind of environment. So he may not got into the hood like, say, a Malcolm, whose father was killed early in life. Yes, you know, and his father was an activist. You know, in the spirit of Marcus Garvey. So the two lives, but they ended up coming together. And then the disinformation that comes out a lot of times when you say you've heard about King being maybe an informant. Part of what the enemy does constantly, and a great example if you do the study of the Black Panther Party.
Correct.
You know, the enemy, I'm talking about the enemy coming from the United States government. You know, and one of their wings of being the enemy to our people, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And this is on record now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Through their COINTEL program, starting all the way back to Marcus Garvey. That where they planted an agent among Garvey.
Correct.
And so their whole purpose is to try to keep us from ever coming together as we, you know, as a unity, given Muslim, Christian, or what have you, because it would not be in the interest of white power.
Correct.
That's the bottom line. So
Correct.
part of that thing is they drop misinformation out there. They whisper, man, did you know, King or Zaki or Terrence or, you know, I saw them talking to an agent, and this coming from an agent.
Right.
Purpose.
Right.
You know, we gotta be and to that end, you know, if you look at where he actually gave his life, so that in of itself speaks volumes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So also, if you look at the study of what this government did around King, there's a documentary right now where I've been encouraging people to look at. It's called MLK/FBI. And you'll see that the FBI, and it's in documentation, constantly surveilled him. And I also had tapes on him allegedly involved with women. And was trying to use that.
I was just finna say, wasn't they talking about he was on some type of undercover pimp stuff and had
basically
hoes
that
and
he
they waiting on him in this hotel room?
But you know what? But then that goes back to that whole thing of moral principles, because all of us fall short now.
Every day.
All of us fall short,
Every
because
day.
if you were to follow all of us at 24/7,
Like seriously, like real talk.
but the moral principle of willing to get out, sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the community.
Yes, sir.
All day.
And and I always point out the fact, out of that documentary film, here you had a pervert named J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh
Man.
my God.
Absolute pervert.
Man.
Pervert.
Yeah.
You know, trying to put it out there about King, because King at that time was galvanizing the people. And let me also be clear on the whole issue of turning the cheek. Now, given the set of circumstances, historic set of circumstances that he was dealing with, you know, there would have been slaughter, and it could be even slaughter today, with him trying to get us some basic, even though we were segregated, and that did create some economics in our community, but it was a segregation of humiliation, you know, on a lot of levels.
Definitely.
And his movement allowed us to have access to a movement in a sense. Because a lot of places we could not stop to just urinate. You know, I mean,
Stupid shit.
You know, so
To get water.
So we have to salute him on those levels, in my opinion.
All right.
As well as if you look at the historic role of voting, you know, that his movement also, because we paid taxes, and it was a systematic effort not to allow us to vote. And he challenged that. So we got to salute him for that.
Oh,
but more importantly than anything, Dr. King was murdered for Cause we all evolve, and you gotta
Yes, sir.
understand when he was murdered, he was 38 years old, so
Yeah.
he's still in the state
Right,
of
right.
transformation.
Right.
But hell, he had began to transform so heavily. The government said, "Damn, we got to deal with him." And, you know, the 2 points that probably led to his death.
He started talking about our own income. He started talking about finances.
The class struggle,
Yeah.
finances, the
Yeah.
economic, cause he called for, and a lot of folks forget that.
Yeah.
The Poor People's March, and he wasn't just talking about black folks. He was talking about Hispanics. He was talking about the white folks in the Appalachians
Right,
who
right. The
are
allies.
even poorer than us.
Key word, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing. His movement to talk about transforming America economically.
Yeah.
And then his outspokenness on the Vietnam War.
Okay.
He was assassinated exactly 1 year after he came on April the 4th at the Riverside Church in New York, where he publicly came out and spoke out against the Vietnam War. So all those folks prior to that who saying Dr. King and even some Negroes, and you'll see on some documentaries that was saying, you know, you're doing good. How dare you, black man, talk about international affairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so those, you know, so he began to take it to a level that America power structures say, no, we can't have
Eliminate him.
Yeah, we gotta eliminate him, man. So that was the process. And then, sad to say, going back to low moral characters, then they had agents among him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's documentary. And then at the same time, so he's pushing it from that Christian level. Now here you have also Malcolm who had transformed himself, Islamic, you know, Assalamu alaikum, man. You know, who also began to transform
Yeah.
because, you know, with the movement of the Nation of Islam, they were preaching separation more or less.
Yeah.
But like he began to see the power of us being empowered politically and broaden the whole international struggle. So what did they do to him? Just like they put an agent among King, they put an agent in among Malcolm. And I was just interviewed by the Final Call newspaper about last month, I believe. I don't know if y'all were aware that one of Malcolm X's top security guy wrote a deathbed letter. Said, upon my death, please release this. And the letter was read by one of his cousins, and in the presence, they had a press conference, had the Malcolm X daughters as well as Ben Crump, an attorney. And this, I won't say brother, because I have to call him like I see it, a Negro. He was working with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the New York City Police Department. And it was his job, he was told to make sure that he put two of Malcolm's top security folks to make sure that they would not be available on the day that Malcolm
So
was
he was the
assassinated.
cause of distraction with Malcolm's own security. Keep him away from.
He worked as an agent provocateur. And how was an agent provocateur? Sometimes they come in and act like they super tough. Okay, now we need to go ahead and bomb the Statue of Liberty. That's what he was trying to guide the other two security folks and they fell into the trap. They got arrested. They weren't on hand on the day of Malcolm's assassination. And all you gotta do is look up on YouTube Raymond Wood, and you'll see that story, you know. And so the tactic, and another heavy movie that again speaks to what I'm saying about the evilness of this government is with the Panthers. And in fact, my very first organizing in our community, my very first East St. Louis. I mean, I was active on college campus. I was part of what was called the Black Student Association.
Okay.
Back in the day in '68, we took over the chancellor's office, calling for Black Studies and Black faculty, and I was, the spokesperson. And then after I graduated, I became an educator. and also part of the East St. Louis Black United Front. But what touched me for my getting out to organize our people, like in the protest, was the murder and assassination of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. And that was done, again, with person with no moral principles, because they had placed an agent among Fred Hampton, the head of the Black Panther Party Illinois chapter, who was instructed to lay out the diagram of the Panthers' living quarters, who was instructed to put a drug in Hampton's drink to make sure that the night that the FBI raided their compound, that he would be asleep, and shot into the home 99 times, claiming there was a shootout. There was only one shot going out. And then once they came in, alleged to from his wife, who survived it, that they said, "Oh, he ain't dead." Boom! Shot him. So that hit me, just like I guess what with Mike Brown for many young people. And I went out and organized a major demonstration in East St. Louis, and from that point I began to work with the Panther Party. But I cited all those three instances. But there's many more.
Many more.
So,
Many more.
but we can't. But still, out of it, for those who have moral characters and moral principles and integrity, you still got to push forward. Understanding that might, you may have an agent among you, but damn, the liberation for our people is the number one item that for me should reflect integrity, if at the highest level, So going back to where we at now, the organization I represent, it's called the Universal African Peoples Organization. We were founded, in fact, on April the 4th, which was the assassination date of Dr. King. And we were founded kind of like as an extension of my candidacy for governor of the state of Missouri in 1984 and in 1988. And let me say, I ran for those positions, and it's clear, this is very important. When I was off air, I was talking about our organization is getting ready to announce what we're going to be projecting as a spiritual / political initiative for 2022. And let me say why. When I first ran for governor in 1984, it wasn't one morning that I said, I want to be governor. Let's be clear. I ran out of a concept. And the concept at that time, I was head of another organization called Caucus for Community Progress, and we had 3 objectives. And we had a couple hundred people that came to this convention. And it was called Missouri's first statewide Black People's Convention. We had 3 objectives. One was to educate whoever in attendance to state politics. The second was to draw up a platform concerning issues impacting Black Missourians. And the third was to encourage Black people to run statewide. Because at the time in 1984, there were no Black governors in America.
Wow.
At that time, there were no Black United States senators. So effectively, of the most powerful positions in this country, 150, 0 Black.
Wow.
Okay? But let me, I'm going to digress. Move forward. Let me move forward right now in 2021. How many Black governors are there? There's 50 states. I'm a former educator. Give me a number.
0.
13.
You say 13.
Yeah.
I'd say 20.
You said governors?
50 governors.
0.
Governors.
Yeah, we had governors.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all one more chance.
I say 0.
My number just went down to about 6.
I'd say about 15.
15. My brother, can I have what you smoke?
That's the thing, I don't smoke. Love.
He was absolutely correct. 0.
Wow.
And that's
Mind blowing.
That's today.
Mind
That's
blowing.
today.
Yeah.
That's
100 United States
Mind
senators.
blowing, man.
100
Mind blowing.
U.S. senators. All right, let's go on that. 100 United States senators. These are the ones that make decisions that impact our lives day in and day out. Another question. Let's go. Let's see. We'll start with you, my man.
I got it now. 0. I got it now.
I'm gonna stay where I'm at. 6.
6.
I'm with him about
yeah.
6.
Well, he came closest.
Okay.
Now y'all about extreme end
So,
because it's
but-
only
but-
3.
Only
Okay.
3?
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wait
That's
a
half.
minute, 3.
Wow.
But look here,
The shit.
100 U.S. senators,
Yeah, that-
50 governors, some of the most powerful positions in the country. We only got 3.
3.
That's
Wow.
1%.
Towards the high.
Wow.
Yeah.
1%, 1.5%
Wow.
win. Also, they say we 13% of the population.
Yeah, that ain't.
Wow.
So going back to 1984, I'm looking at this. I'm saying this stuff is crazy. I want to cuss.
Yeah.
This shit, I mean,
Yeah.
forgive me. It's crazy than fruitcake.
That's how I feel about the Electoral College. Like,
Yeah.
how did that even exist?
Because that helps a certain segment of the power structure stay in power.
Exactly.
Right.
It ain't
But-
got nothing to do with the people.
Right. But going back, so we had a couple hundred people there. All the power hitters at that time in politics in black Missouri. We had at that time Congressman Clay Sr. there, Senator Bass, Senator Banks, representatives from Kansas City, the political organization out of there called Freedom Incorporated. A lot of elected officials in attendance. Everybody's saying right on. We organized, talked about state politics. We had a platform of concerns. Our original concept was at that time you had in Missouri somebody could run for governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, state treasurer, and attorney general. My thing was to challenge him for every office.
Right,
Okay, I got a lot of pushback, so we say, well, we'll settle for one. Let's have one black candidate for governor. I could not get nobody to run.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up running for governor.
Yeah.
And then I ran a second time and got
And you ended up getting 87,000 votes that year.
Because those same politicians that came to our conference supported white candidates. They didn't support me.
Wow.
And we shocked everybody with the many votes that I was able to get.
Right.
But I only say that in terms of one of the things that our organization push is a concept that's called proportionate political representation, which simply means that wherever percentage we are as a people, on the national level of government, they say we 13% of the population, then common sense says that you should have 13% of political power.
Right.
And in America, you got over 500,000 elected positions across America. Today, we only still got about 4%. And I say that, hell, because we pay taxes.
Yeah, that's real.
And we should, and I'm kind of going off the subject, but I want to point out the importance of proportionate political representation. We also say it's like if we're a certain percentage per state, because black people in different states are certain percentages. We have higher percentages in the southern states and locally.
Correct.
Like city governments. But are y'all aware, and I was our organization was very involved in the Ferguson uprising. At the time of Mike Brown's murder, assassination.
That's what it
shocked
was,
me.
assassination, no doubt.
It shocked me politically that in the city of Ferguson was 68% black, yet on the city council was only one black member.
Wow.
And as a direct consequence of that, you had a police force at the time of his murder that had 53 members. All were white but 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
So effectively, there's 68% of black people paying their taxes, hiring people who were from outside of their community, didn't give a damn about black people, harassed black people.
Yeah.
So we're paying them to kick our
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
So as an organization, we founded ourselves on April the 4th, 1989, 1 year after I had ran for governor. And we consider ourselves a Pan-Africanist movement because we like to interconnect ourselves with the struggle of our people internationally. We are world people.
Right.
And we've been on the forefront of a lot of police killings in
Yeah.
terms of speaking truth to power. We push a concept also. I want to make sure audiences are understanding the concept.
Yes, sir.
Because it ain't about personalities.
Right.
You know, another concept is community control of the police departments. What that simply means that whatever percentage, first of all, police departments are to reflect the percentage of the racial composition of the city that they're working. So going back to Ferguson, if we had community control of the police department, then at the time of Mike Brown murder, instead of we only having 2 or 3% of the officers, then 68% of the officers should have been black. You know, which put money into our pockets, as well as ideally more sensitivity coming from black
They
police
understand
officers.
what they
Right.
They understand.
So that's one thing out of community control of the police. Police departments are to reflect the ethnicity of the community in which they work.
Right.
Secondly, they ought to live in the community in which they work.
Right.
And thirdly, they ought to have effective civilian review boards.
Yeah.
So those are some of
Concur.
the concepts that we push.
Concur.
2 other points real quick. On the international level, I'm proud to say, as a small-based organization, we have had some major international humanitarian relief efforts. In the founding of our organization in 1989, we shipped about 70 boxes of clothing, clean clothing, and new clothing to Namibia to help celebrate their liberation at that time
that's right.
from colonial rule.
Beautiful word.
2003, our organization, along with other organizations, but it failed on us, where we organized a mass shipment of 450 boxes of clothing and medical supplies to Zimbabwe, which I went there to dedicate. The next, in 2004, we shipped about 540 boxes of food, water, clothing, medical supplies, educational material to Haiti. 2006, we shipped 9,000 books to Ethiopia, where I went there to dedicate to helping fight illiteracy there. We also raised about $5,000 that we donated to a nonprofit agency in Haiti in 2011 as an extension of an earthquake that occurred. And last but not least, in 2015, we shipped 10,000 books to Ghana to help build a library.
Okay.
They said deserve a hand, y'all.
Yes,
They
sir.
deserve a hand, man.
Yes,
They
sir.
deserve a hand.
And not only that,
Yes, sir.
last year, our organization for 3 straight months was able to deliver close to 6,000 boxes of fresh produce to our people, which I was very proud of. Terrell and a number of other folks out distributing. So that goes back to what I would say, you got to practice what you preach.
Yes, sir.
You know, just to talk and not do nothing, man, damn that. That's well, you know, we've been very involved in the political arena. We have supported, we work with Community Justice Coalition, our organization, part of that movement.
That's right.
Where
That's
we,
right. That's
worked
right.
to,
That's right.
re-elect Kim Gardner, who has come
Oh,
under
man.
attack.
Oh, yeah.
And we have also encouraged black people to run and challenge for powerful positions such as U.S. Senate. Back in 2018, we had a sister named Coffee Wright running for the United States Senate. In 2016, many people don't know that, but Cori Bush, who's now the current member of the House of Representatives, her first political involvement came as a direct invitation from our organization for her to run for United States Senate in 2016. That's on record. So, you know, I'm proud to say, you know, we have spoke truth to power, have been unabashedly not afraid to, you know, deal with the issues, both international and national. Going back international, I've been blessed to be in the presence and have met Muammar Gaddafi, who is the former leader of Libya. I got an opportunity to meet the leader of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, who had eventually taken the land from the white folks who had taken the land from the native Zimbabweans under the time it was called Rhodesia. I got a chance to meet the president of Sudan, Omar Bashir, and I met the current president of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega. When I ran for governor, Minister Louis Farrakhan came and endorsed my candidacy. So I
don't mean to cut you off, Zaki, but when I first met Zaki and he threw all them type of credentials out to me, man, I was like, I gotta be a part of this, cause it ain't too many guys out there beating their feet to the street trying to give power to the people, especially like he do. You see where he at now, and then I appreciate you coming out and talking to us, cause it's gonna have to take some type of bridge or connection between the elderly and because we a couple generations under you, and it's like to bridge that gap of understanding about politics and how people are getting treated. People. It's like that reality is flying over our people's head to the point that they don't even care what's going on. So to have a brother like you coming out to something like this and putting the bug in our ear, to reach and fight for our people even more, it's a blessing and an honor. And I'm glad you came out, and that inspired me to try to reach your agenda of getting 144,000 people to join the organization for truth and power to the people.
Yes, sir. Because you got people, in our generation that'll go buy the next alcohol that just hit the newest alcohol that hit the shelf instead of trying to get the knowledge that already that exists.
They don't care about that.
But again, that goes back to the set of circumstances that we live in that purposely misguide our people or help misguide our people. When you look at the war on our people through the drugs, my mind went to an international issue, and it's important folks know history.
Yes, sir.
I'm citing a lot of historic things. Well, y'all aware, and I'm going to just use the Chinese people for example right here, that the United States and England, white-owned nations, waged a war on China in the early 1900s because the Chinese was rising up to keep opium out of their country. These white folks
I heard about that.
Y'all got to take this opium because it made money. So they did the same thing in the black community. All these drugs, historically, the heroin going back into the 20s, 30s, or what have you, have always come from outside of our community. Although they used some of us who look like us, who didn't have ways to make money and thought that was the only way. And that has been a insidious attack on us that with the height being the crack epidemic, and we don't even know scientifically what that crack possibly could have done to the children born to addicted parents. Then you got that toppled with this, I call it mad music, where, kill that nigga. That bitch or that hoe, which also
content's horrible, man. It do.
And behind that are not black radio stations, what have you, because there was an effort to displace black owned radio stations, and they put these radio stations that's owned by white corporations, and they help project that music. And the rappers that first came out with positive messages were replaced with the conscious rapper. They would not give them no airplay, but give the foolish folks the airways. So
and endorse them.
So you got that, and another thing that they got, and it's touched me. And again, I just appreciate y'all just let me.
Yes, sir.
But I'm a former educator.
Yes, sir.
And I saw so much madness. And I taught in a predominantly black school. The same school system which I went through, which was very great at the time I went through. I had all black teachers. I know a number of my grade school teachers, even to today, who were inspiring. But when I started teaching, it became a little bit more integrated,
Yeah.
which I wrote about. There's too many white teachers teaching our children, but then you also had incompetent administrators who looked like us, who didn't give a damn about the children, and that also had an impact on it. So, as an educator, I was so outraged on so much that I had seen. I ended up writing a couple booklets on education. One called Challenge: The Building of a Clean, Prosperous Black Community Through Our Educational System, as opposed to the Conspiracy. And the second one, The Challenge Part 2, Can We Do It? And what was I saying? A conspiracy. A conspiracy of silence, because there were a lot of good teachers who saw what I saw.
Right.
But going back to integrity, they were lacking because they would not speak truth to power. They were afraid. And by the grace of God, though, He gave me some strength. I guess they used to think I was crazy. In fact,
Energetic, baby.
in fact, I had been taken out of the classroom because of my outspokenness, because I had wrote a public letter cracking on what I considered a very bootlicking Negro principal at East St. Louis Senior High School, who, for me, damaged so many of our children. At that time, East St. Louis Senior High School had 100% black student population, had about 15-20% white staff, had a Negro principal who was very dark complexion, but who hated himself. I'm going to give y'all an example, and his people. Sadly to say, if we grew up, the skin tone of a person, you get into joning. I'm sure the people must have cracked on him a whole lot.
That's life.
Because he internalized it. And a classic example, during Black History Month, I'm over the social studies department. And I'm going to put up bulletin boards throughout the school reflecting Black history.
Right.
So one of the bulletin boards, I wanted to reflect the thought that the people without knowledge of themselves is a people without roots, something like, Garvey would say. So I had asked this middle-class art teacher if she would do it for me, and she did. And I must say that she was a very attractive sister, but but anyway, she had a nice bulletin board. It was she had created like an African, like a tree, and had names of African countries, and on both sides a collage of pictures of everybody around this table. Like Stevie Wonder, everybody. It was a nice little board.
Right.
So what I get out the attractiveness, if you weren't attracted to the looks, is with the mind.
Yeah,
That's what I got out of that.
Amen.
Well, look here. I'm coming out of the office, and a principal stopped me. And God is my witness to this day. I thought he was going to say, your bulletin board. I thought he was going to compliment me. And don't you think it's offensive? I say, offensive?
Offensive.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so how's it offensive? Didn't have no pictures of white folks on it.
Wow.
God is my
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow. Wow.
God is my witness. And told me I have to put something up or take the bulletin board down.
Wow.
So what do you think I did?
Left it up?
You damn right.
I would have got John Brown or
And I
somebody.
stopped to say that, the principal thought it was offensive.
Yeah.
And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. But by the grace of God, it was up.
Yeah.
And I only use that as an example
Right.
that the school systems too many times also hurt our people
Yeah.
psychologically.
Yeah.
And as a former educator, I advocate that we have to redo the whole educational system so that our young people, two things, they should know, and not just black people, everybody should know the true historic worldwide contribution that black people
Yes,
made
sir.
to civilization
Yes, sir.
prior to being enslaved.
Yes, sir.
As well as know the study and the battle for freedom, and too many of our children have no idea of freedom fighters, and so they come out miseducated, misguided as another institution. So various institutions have failed us. The spiritual institutions many times has failed us because they don't have programs going out into the community like they should. The family failed us because of,
Yeah.
and that extends to the government attack on us through the drugs, because they incarcerated so many of our men.
Through the living situations and
Hey,
all that.
then I said education, and then the political institution, because we've had misleaders, and so it's on us, and that's going back to the organization. That our vision is to have a vision of 144,000 like-minded people that can be influential and make a change. And as I turn 75, I'm praying, which will be in 2022. I go to a place in Cahokia, called Cahokia Mountain,
Cahokia Mound.
where I go atop there for my spiritual rebirth.
We're not supposed to go with you a couple of weeks ago, my brother. We
Yeah.
supposed.
we
I'm
got-
gonna eventually make it over there
Right.
with you, and we gonna go.
Right.
You know.
And for me, I would love to be able to give God a gift on my birthday, a gift. And that gift of at least 144,000 people come together at some level.
Right.
If
right.
it's no more than saying we all don't vote for one particular issue, or I love for them to be part of our movement that can I think with the little small group that we have had up to today, if we had that force of numbers, I think we can do some substantive change for our community. So I want to give a plug out, first of all, to Rail for being a member, as well as because right now we're in the process of I'm trying to, by the grace of God, impart upon his generation all the knowledge that God has given me.
That's right.
And to carry forth, because I know at some point in time I got to leave here, but it's about relay
Passing the
race,
torch.
Just
passing the
exactly.
torch,
Exactly.
And another thing that probably on my mind, and for everybody that's listening, make sure that you do some dutiful reading,
Yeah.
a study of our history. Also on the spiritual side, I always say everybody should read the Holy Bible from cover to cover, as
And
well
the
as the
Quran.
Holy Quran.
Yes, sir.
I also encourage everybody to get out of this country, and with a special emphasis on Africa. I've been a blessed man. I've been to at least I've been on 34 countries of soil, and and God has allowed me to see some very powerful spiritual places. I've been at the foothills of the Sphinx and the pyramids in Egypt. I've been where they say Jesus walked. I've been a couple of holy Muslim spiritual places in West Africa, a place called Tuba that was so powerful. I've also been into another place in Iraq called Karbala at the shrine of Imam Hussein. God has just allowed me. I've been in Mayan ruins in Belize. Been up in the mountains with the Rastafari.
Now since we got you here, right? I wanna ask you a question, because about that thing that happened in Washington, with an insurrection, and them people that died, in the process of that happening. I know you probably could have never thought you would have seen something like that happen. And then for it to happen, and then people not to really suffer any major consequences for their actions, and especially the people that was in leadership at that time, and even the people that was in control of the security at that time. What message do that send?
Let's do that after the break, because we want to give people a break. That's what we got to keep our mind.
Okay. Before we go to this break, I'm gonna give you this one more wise quote from your man Smoke. So this here is called "To be aware is to be alive." You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Have to be. Say that one more time. Hold on.
To be aware.
You gotta say stuff twice to people, man.
To be aware is to be alive. You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Philosophy.
I smoke.
Love.
sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name, telephone number, and a brief message, and I'll speak to you as soon as I possibly can. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yo, ma, as a owner, here go one of the perks. I'm not gonna fire myself if I roast one up at work. I'll probably just end up flyer. I've been destined since birth. Plus nowadays, to medicate feels like better than church. Thanks for those grass whippings. Made me stop looking, listen. Play my effing position. Gave me purpose and mission. Helped me sharpen my vision. To distinguish the difference. A bad Mr. Ninja male with female intuition. These glass kissers deserve massacres. Plot behind your back in your face, but they laugh with you. Living in the world round fakes, no class to them. Get the bag, they expect to split the cash with them. And from the other side, I know you peeping the stool. Some rappers are spellcasters, misleading the youth. What's an elder to do? Can't tell them the truth, cause to them pharmaceuticals and lies are cool. Fools, but I know it's gonna be alright, you'll see. Don't worry, cause I've been Bishop goes, it's a miracle. He didn't lose it when Miss Linda left in the physical. That pain he's still feeling, yeah, I would know. So I had to hold it down for bro. This beat right here, he sent me overnight. Yeah, it took 7 months to get it right. You told me I should never rush my art. I'm sorry, mama, had a pinky moment, excuse me, nerve. And now it's back to getting busy. It took a toll on me with Dutchess County, did the measy. And when he found out, had to call him up to calm down Tizzy. Yeah, he home, but them conditions is super silly. And really, that whole process right there just had me broken. To the point that your baby boy went back to smoking. I swear all I wanna do is count my blessings. If life's a salad, it's plain Jane, I need some dressing. But I know it's gonna be alright, you'll see. Don't worry, cause I've been same as I did. Missing out the cracks in the pavement. Starting my feet. I've been walking in the same way as I did. Missing out the cracks in the pavement. Starting my feet.
Philosophies. We back, baby. Yeah. Now, my question was, like I say, with this, the thing that happened in Washington D.C. You know, did you ever think you'll live to see something like that, and then the people, you know, not suffering any consequences for their actions, which is the major people that was part of exciting the crowd.
Well, you know, let me say, I'm a student of history first. And I encourage everybody, like Malcolm would say, to study history really deep. Because if you study history, you'll see that there have been many instances where people have rebelled and rose up against, quote unquote, the status quo, both for social justice as well as on the conservative level, pushing for craziness. Okay? So it didn't shock me.
Right.
That was my point.
Okay.
Okay, you know, because all things are possible.
Yes, sir.
In terms of if there's a set of social conditions that would force folks to express how they feel.
Right.
The question becomes what side of history you fall on. You know, you can fall on the history of justice for all people, or you can just, like those rioters was pushing for actually going back in time and putting us back in
preserving
time.
history.
Yeah,
Trying.
Preserving the races.
Right.
The key word is history. Their history.
Right,
yeah,
right,
it ain't
right,
it ain't
right.
ours.
Because, you know, in America there's many white folks feel threatened that their world is crumbling because they see black people in their mind taking over, different important power, or they see people of color crossing the borders, what they say illegally, back into this land, which they took originally from those same people who's trying to come back here.
That's crazy,
okay?
man. That's crazy.
So that is possible, but the reality, though, that you see, going back to your issue that they're not being punished for, is reflective of the racism that still exists in America.
Right.
Racism has not died.
Right.
And
it's alive
it's still
and well.
alive and living in full color. And so that's, can you imagine if there were thousands of people like that and who look like us, and we came to the Capitol and stormed the building? So, I mean,
I don't think we would have. Somebody would have been there before it happened.
And in fact, if you look at the Million Man March, hell, under the so-called progressive administration, I couldn't even say so-called, under Bill Clinton, who for me was a criminal also.
Oh man, cold-blooded.
But the Million Man March, hell, they had called in security surrounding, in preparation in case these black folks get out of hand.
Right.
And so they knew this crowd was going to be there, but they didn't prepare for it because it was white folks.
Yeah.
And since that masses of white folks did storm it, they just can't bring themselves to put the kind of charges on them that we all know that they would put on us if that was predominantly black.
But like you said, you look at history. Look at how they did Mike Brown killer, and look how they did these other people that been doing this killing and ain't been charged. So I know we finna test you now. You got to be quick on your feet. We on to the next subject.
Oh, well, first, y'all know why they really stormed. It's a joke too, just in case y'all don't know. Y'all know why they really stormed the Capitol, right? This was said by somebody at My City, My Music, one of their shows.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say whose show it was. But
Okay.
They said that they stormed the Capitol because it was only 2 porta potties. Hey, he was serious though. He was really serious.
I bet he was. I bet he was serious, and I bet he was a comedian. But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, you got 5 lives that been lost in that process.
Right.
So if you got to understand, what do life mean? What do it mean? What do message did that send out to the rest of the world? That's my thing.
All day.
What message did that send, bro?
I was tripping off of, out of all the Blue Lives Matter support that they was dishing out before that happened, all of a sudden, Blue Lives Matter was out the door.
When he got beat with that flag, when he took that Blue Lives Matter flag and beat him with the flag.
It was like all the support that the police was giving back, like Blue Lives Matter, Blue Lives, and then all of a sudden you see
organized gang, bro, organized gang. But on to the next subject, cause we got this guy here, man. I want to hear everything he got to say, baby.
Let's get it.
What you got, Tweezy?
All right, so for about a week or so, people been coming through my city with on different shows, and they been tackling the subject of black on black violence.
Okay.
And when they talk about black on black violence, they bring in Black Lives Matter, and like today, in like the feeling that I have around the media and all of that is everybody's starting to turn on Black Lives Matters because they saying it's more about what white people doing to us or the police doing to us.
Yeah, they was saying about the position that the people is in. They taking that money from Black Lives Matter, and the Black Lives is not being supported with that money. That's why you got a lot of people against it, But we want to hear Zaki's opinion.
Right.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of different components to that whole issue. But before I go into that, I just want to comment on Brother June's statement about organized gangs.
Man.
The police are organized
Yes,
gangs,
sir.
Gangsters.
Yes, sir.
It's
It been that way.
That's to be clear.
It been that way.
And another, before you
Facts.
go there, because people don't, and let me know if I'm wrong, because I did my history on the police. And it started with slave catchers.
What
if
that
I'm
badge
not
say?
mistaken.
What the first that badge say? That sheriff badge say? Huh?
So that should let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slave
And
patrol.
we have to understand the police force are here to protect the super rich, the powerful, their property, and keep us in check. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. So going back to the whole question, Black Lives Matter and Black deaths in our community. First of all, they're both entwined in the sense that Black people are dying in disproportionate numbers than what should occur. But we cannot equate what's happening with black on black, what the murder rate in the Black community, with not still dealing with the issue of white police officers historically, killing us, brutalizing us, and doing what they do to us. I don't know if y'all are aware that in the state of Missouri, every year it's mandated, and this started at the beginning of the year 2000, 2001, that they do a study to see if Black people are disproportionately stopped in the streets in Missouri. And every year it comes back, Black people disproportionately stopped.
Right.
And
nothing is done about
It
it.
started with that stop and frisk thing, wasn't it?
Like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
that stop
Like
frisk
seven-
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been for a period of time. So that clearly shows that there is a racial element to policing. So
Absolutely.
So at all times when there are reports of police violence and attacks on our people, from our perspective, damn right, we have to still attack it. And Black lives are matter.
Yeah.
Black lives are matter on that end, but Black lives are matter also on the end of us killing each other.
Yes, sir.
And so there has to be camp. And in fact, our organization has had news articles on black, quote unquote, killing. And we have had statistics that says that Black people kind of like disproportionately die from homicide and what have you. But still, that goes back to the kind of social conditions that produce that kind of situation. And those social conditions, as I had said earlier, are a combination of broken families, lack of spirituality, lack of economic means, because it's proven that Black people are disproportionately unemployed, have disproportionately in terms of access to income, finances, and there's systematic redlining, racial discrimination in terms of trying to get loans and what have you. So that creates, along with what we had talked about, the environment of the crazy music that's out here. At one point in time, when we were growing up, if I shot you, I would have a less sentence than if I had shot a white boy. So they just, all of those are combinations of this society that help perpetrate, the black on black violence. And so we have to attack that. But you know what, one thing I'm gonna say too, even today, and I wish I could prove it though, but I got a hypothesis on this. Ever since the Ferguson effect, it looked like the murder rate has also increased. But I would venture to say that not all these none of them are unsolved, right? So it ain't like we know it was all black on black.
Right.
Are y'all aware that today there are people, they have products that you can go to the store and some places, and it's body, I forgot what they call it, where you could put, like a white person could buy something and
put on that mask,
and look just like a black person. A white guy got busted.
I remember that.
It went over the intercom, over the police dispatches. It was a black man had robbed a bank.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that was the description.
Yep.
But he got busted because his girlfriend told on him.
Uh-huh.
And
I heard that.
The description was correct.
Yeah.
But he had bought some kind of
That mask.
Pullover thing.
That pullover mask. Yeah.
and make you look like black.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, who's not to say vigilante white folks coming in killing some of our people,
Uh-huh.
as well as rogue police officer. I'm just gotta put.
Oh,
that
flat out.
I
Flat out.
just gotta
Organized
be
gang, man.
You know, so we have to, as a race of people, become a lot more vigilant. We got to begin to tighten up who comes into our community, or become more observant
Yeah.
as to who is in our community.
Yeah.
And so that's why we don't have to have a great crusade of organizing young men like yourself and everybody else that's out there
Yes, sir.
that got to say, hey, I'm going to step up to the plate
Yes, sir.
and become more involved in the community.
Yes, sir.
And then we got to have more youth programs
Yes, sir.
that re-educate our young people that you cannot kill a precious
Right.
commodity in our
Right.
community.
And it ain't snitching, man, when you involved in your community and you trying to prevent things from happening, man. It ain't snitching, man. You understand?
Right,
So, and a lot of people, you know, they want to stand up and stand out on that note because they don't want to say nothing when they see something. And then, you know, and we as individuals and then and people in that household end up suffering the consequences for somebody's actions, and you could have said something or stepped out, you know, to stop that. You know, but the thing is, everybody, you know, ain't got that type of courage. And I'm gonna move on to the next subject.
Let me come in. I'm so glad you mentioned that, June. We cannot also we have to understand though that we do have some misguided people in our community.
Yes, sir.
And we gotta check them.
We call them we call them agitators and instigators. We got a lot of agitators and instigators, man.
We gotta check them.
Yes, sir.
And so again, it goes with integrity.
Yes, sir.
It goes with you being honest.
Yes,
being
sir.
a strong moral.
Yes, sir.
So if you know somebody who's breaking in all your neighbors' homes, hell, eventually he'll get you.
Hello.
I'm telling you.
If you
Hello.
know a brother, I mean, I ain't gonna say a brother. If you know a misguided person
Uh-huh.
who shot and killed innocent sister, and you don't say nothing about it,
Bro.
shame on you.
Yes.
You just as bad as that.
Integrity shot. Don't know nothing about it.
Just like they want the police to say something about the bad police.
Yeah.
It's the same game.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my thing, man. You know, like I say, I'm very grateful and appreciate the fact that you came and shared your knowledge with us. Like you said, you know, we basically live or die. So to die with that type of knowledge and wisdom and understanding is no good. So you have to pass these things along, you know. And a lot of people don't understand how important that is. But you got so many people out here willing to listen, you know, and not only to listen, you know, to put into effect what you're talking about. Yeah. You know, so, you know, with that, I'm going to pass it on to Bird and see what this next subject is because we're running out of time.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you was actually getting into it when you was talking about what the youth need to do and what we need to do as far as getting together to make a progression within our community. And what I wanted to ask you was, like, what do you think we need to do in order to get, like, your generation of people that's still about the fight and the struggle for our people, and my generation, like the people that's really for the cause? Like, what do you think? Like, how can we meet, get together, conversate, converse, politic,
Play some dominoes.
yeah, just really feel each other out, because a lot of youngsters, you know, they don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
but let me just say this. First of all, historically, young people have always been in the forefront of the struggle. Under Dr. King, Dr. King was only able to get a lot of things done, say in Birmingham, because of the young high school students and the college students.
And another thing, like you said, he was 38 years, like we that age
Right.
now.
Right.
He ain't had no, I know he probably had elders guiding him. Like they don't talk about that. Like, where did Martin Luther King get his inspiration from?
Right.
Who was Martin Luther King and Malcolm X inspiration. And,
Right.
you know, they don't talk about that. They just star-stud these activists. You know, like we want to know, like, how y'all get on that level.
Well,
You know?
let me just say this, and I'll just use this as a personal example. First of all, to be involved, you got to have knowledge.
You got to.
So my challenge to your generation, as I said earlier, you got to imbue yourself with knowledge. So you got to start reading, and you got to read the kinds of books and history that would strengthen you for being of resolute spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
Then secondly, after that, you got to bond with other folks who think like you. So
That's
you
right.
got to.
That's right.
The
Like-minded
critical thing
people.
moving forward is you got to organize.
Well, we doing good
And
so far.
and so to that end, that's where our organization is committed to trying to organize young men like yourself and sisters to be organized, because only change will come with an organized.
Cause we
Yes,
next
sir.
up,
Yes,
Zaki.
sir.
Like you said,
Yes, sir.
when you passing the torch, like.
But see, you're not messed up. June not.
No,
messed
no,
up.
I'm saying I said we next up. We next up.
Yeah.
Oh, you next.
Next
Yeah,
up,
we
yeah.
next up.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
next up. That's what I was
But
saying when you say
you're next up.
Yeah, we
So-
next
so-
up.
so-
So it's like we need to be around 100 Zaki Barudis.
Well,
You know, you can't do it all by yourself,
Right,
like you
right.
said.
Yeah.
You know,
but-
it's
but
like
all I can do is commit to what I'm here,
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
and I'm at your service.
Yes, sir.
At wherever time that you need me.
that's right.
But I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
saying though
appreciate
that
it.
The proof
your,
in the
your
pudding.
responsibility though is once you get the knowledge, and as you get the knowledge, you got to be out here on the forefront.
Right,
So
right,
as a
right,
young
right.
person, all the errors that you see of the adults, then you got to correct them.
Yes, sir.
It's just like we have to, as a force, go into the deepest part of our community. Just imagine we have 15, 20, 30 men that just go wherever is the worst part of the community, and we go in with some type of gift for the young
Yeah,
people.
Yes,
it's
sir.
positive. It's
Yes,
positive.
and then stay consistent with that. What if, as young people, again, and I'm not trying to brag on them, but God allowed me so many kinds of experiences that to practice what I preach.
Yes,
I remember
sir.
at 19 years
Yes,
old.
sir.
Shoot, I had a little base. No, I was with my partner. I was about 17. In the hood, we had organized little sports.
Yes,
teams.
sir.
I mean, that's what y'all. That was some basic stuff.
Yes,
that
sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
some basic stuff.
Basic kickball teams, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what if we, out of this conversation, just say that we don't organize some softball teams in different wards, so like as a league that they play each other. Where
Yeah.
there ain't a whole lot of
That's right.
expense.
Exactly.
I mean, so much that we can do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as we do say sports, we got to also integrate them with proper teaching, tell them
Right.
it's important to get their education.
Right.
And once you get your education, you got to come back into the community
Right.
to do the work to help your fellow brothers.
You're gonna have to give. You're gonna have to give. You're gonna have to give something to be part of this process. That's the whole thing you saying. You can't. We can't just show up and show out for you for these kickball league or this baseball league or this football league. You understand? We ain't gonna provide all these things for you if you ain't sacrificing and giving us something back. Meaning that your undivided attention is just to learn. At least to put your foot forward to what we're trying to teach you.
Absolutely.
You know, even if it's something that's simple as integrity.
Right.
You know, the word of the week, if you can teach these kids just a word of the week,
Oh man.
man, woo, you'll be surprised what they come back with and had it to manifest in their life, baby. Because they know what the hustle for the week is.
Right.
You know, the thing is the word of the week. We do that in the joint. You know, wake up, let me see what's the word of the week. That's how you enhance your vocabulary. But you take that type of thing, man, and apply out here in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, it all starts from that man in the mirror.
Hey, that is. But you know what? I got to throw one other little nugget in here, and that goes the challenge on everybody. Never in my life, with going through all the struggles and speaking truth to power, would I have thought I would see black men, grown black men, sagging like they do.
Oh, man.
But
Oh,
again,
What you say? Not the capital, Ryan. You talking about sagging. You never thought you'd see that.
yeah, you're right.
You know?
Never conceived that. And I
We call that indecent exposure where I come from.
But
You gotta have some common decency about yourself, man.
But then that speaks to another issue. Going back to integrity.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us have the integrity? Because you never know when you touch a young person. How many around this table have stopped and just say, "Hey, brother, man, pull them up."
Me,
Or look at
me,
and
most
say,
definitely, I have.
I mean, if
yeah.
you're doing that, I salute you.
Yes, sir.
But I'm just
Yes, sir.
saying in terms of also
Literally,
the
yeah.
lack of that being
Done.
Now,
Yeah.
now,
by
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell
folks
you,
that's
Zaki,
supposed
when
to
I
be
do
done.
it, I do it to people I know that ain't gonna up and shoot me just to say Cause some folks you'll be like, man, I want to tell him to put his pants up, but it look like he gonna act the ass if I tell him to quit showing his ass.
Yeah. Now a
But you know
couple
what?
of times I did that. Somebody did pull their thing up and show their weapon,
Yeah, okay.
and I'm like, look, bro, with all due respect,
Right.
all I'm saying is I got granddaughters in here, bro.
Right.
You got a hole in your drawers, bro. If you gonna do that, at least have enough awareness that they dirty, bro.
Right. But I only say that because I do recognize you got approached with a level of respect to them.
Yeah.
And I always I never forget I had one incident where this young brother, never forget this. He had 2 pair of pants on. One was sagging and the other one was at his knee. And he was walking with holding the second pair on his knee. Can I get up and just show, yeah, this is real. He's sagging here and he had the second pair like this. He was walking. And I was with a couple of partners and I said, man, I can't let that go by and fall down.
Right.
So I get out the car and I'm walking up to him and say, black man,
Yeah.
you know you're a king. And immediately he started pulling them up.
Yes.
Right.
But what messed me up, and this goes to the psychology. Remember I said the word king, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the day too, they had those grills, right?
Yep.
And he had a grill, and he smiled at me. And across his grill had the word king.
King. Wow.
So I just say that deep down psychologically.
Yes, sir.
He knew his
He
king.
knew.
But because of the outer influences,
Yep.
he was, because we all are kings.
Yes.
But many of our people don't recognize it.
Indigenous.
Right. And we have to, bring that out.
Yes.
And that's the task.
Yes.
Malcolm X was king, but he didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
That's
Until after he went into prison.
And he traveled. After he traveled
and
too.
he
When he
traveled,
traveled, he, like you say, get outside of this country.
Right.
And get and to broaden your horizon and get your mind. Oh man, this is a beautiful thing.
Intellect.
Yes, sir. Expand your intellect. Yes, sir. You want me to do a wise quote from your man Smoke?
Let me do this first because
Okay.
I want to thank. What I don't want to say his
Zaki
name.
Baruli.
Zakib Zarudi. Yes, sir.
Zaki Rudy for number one, clearing up the MLK bullshit that people. You know what I'm saying? What I got for you, I'm not even finna go through all that.
Man,
I'm gonna say,
beautiful
this is what I
jewels.
got for you. If it's black, support the shit.
Hello.
If it's black and righteous, support it.
Right.
If it's black and righteous, support it. Don't start looking for. It's no verses, man.
Nah.
It's us.
Us. U.S.
It's us.
U.S.
It's
us.
us.
And just like in the Bible say, the man had became as one of us. To know the difference between good and evil. So let him put his forth. Read it, baby. Us.
Us.
And I just want to say thank you. I'm really humbled for today. I totally enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And
thank you, man.
y'all give me hope for the future.
Man, this is
Y'all's
hey,
spirit.
yes, sir.
So,
But Mr. Zaru, this is a mustard seed for sure, and we most definitely gonna make it grow.
All day.
And then
Got to come back, man.
man, he coming back. We coming back, and we gotta pull up with the
Yeah, I might
limo
see him
grabber,
once a
baby.
month, but coming back.
Yes, sir, we need it.
right, that's no problem.
But at the same time, I want to do anything I can to support the process. What you was telling us, we need to get part of.
Okay, well, again, we're saying become part of the Universal African Peoples Organization. You can go on our website, and our website is www.uapo.org, as well as this coming April the 4th, which falls on Easter, at 4 p.m., we'll be at the Legacy Bookstore commemorating the founding of our organization, as well as the assassination date of Dr. King, as well as making a historic announcement about our spiritual / political initiative. And so we welcome each of you to be in attendance for this historic day. And as I did mention, at 4 p.m. If anybody want to reach out to me directly, they can call our office at area code 314-833-4151, or they can call me directly, area code 314-477-4629.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Again, April 4th at the Legacy Bookstore, 4 p.m. Y'all better be there.
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
All day, man. This is a no. Hold on, we got more quotes.
Look, check this out. We got one more that's gonna be aimed at our queens, man. You know, we like to because without the queens, it wouldn't be no kings, man. So we like to pay our homage. You understand? So the thing is, this one here is called The One. Now, I got a book coming out, man. You dig that, you know, I hope you guys kind of scoop it up, you know, support this cause. But at the end of the day, I ain't going to waste too much time on it because we ain't got that much time. But y'all hear more about it. But this one is called The One. A woman who wants the best for you is the best for you.
You got that right. You got that right. Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to say it one more time a little slower. This one is called, the title is The One. A woman who wants the best for you is the best for you. Period, 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 period. Smoke love. Philosophy.
Stay tuned to the Philosophies every Sunday, 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
I gotta have you on.
We finna be up out of here,
That's right,
man.
man. That's right.
Yes, sir.
We'll come on there as a unit until it's our people really conversation. Yes, sir. We will.
I go by Jacobian, 12 tribes representing. Uncommon conscious music through your studios. Listen, I don't be cooking crack in my homeboy's kitchen. I be about that information, share it with my brethren. You won't see me on no block, serving fiends, catching cases. You'll see me on the web, learning about registration. Trying to search about my nationality and heritage, then research about history and what this shit was carrying. I think my people were slaves in the days of the Constitution, labeled them as livestock. Tagged us, beat us, kept us moving, treated us with brutality and kept the world puking. Then promised slave rights, apologies and retributions. The Negro Act is still valid and they using it. That's why I gotta make this shit surreal music. The Negro Act is still valid and they using it. That's why I gotta make this shit surreal music. This is youngest of a nation and I got a message that come from the streets. We can no longer be silent. We can no longer be weak. We can no longer suffer defeats from Edomites be what they want us to be. We gotta be the most high chosen nation, cause that's the nation we was chosen to be. We gotta be the most fearless, but we gotta keep up your laws though. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but I'm spitting truth through these bars, bro. If you focus, you could see them. Genocide and I see them. Constantine and his Roman friends at the first council of Nicaea. But as far as these Romans go, when the deepest all this Bible gets, all the books irrelevant. All through the New Testament, all through the good Gospels, that book ain't been right since. Truth in Old Testament, we call the book of remembrance. This is just surreal with the message to the streets. Is it really real or is it all make-believe? Come to think about it, it's this system made unsafe for me. It's been killing me repeatedly, it shows through history. I go by Jacobian, 12 tribes representing. Uncommon conscious music through your studios. Listen, the brainwashing lies, all the schemes that they pitching. If I was free, then why the policies affect my living? Why can't I walk along my porch, getting stoned on my weed, right in front of the police without them harassing me? They be asking information, invading my privacy, talking about what you doing, officer. I'm doing me. See you operate in public sector, me I'm in a private. I got my proper paperwork recorded and it's typed in. Can you please respect it? I don't want this to turn violent. Or call your superior officer for we be fighting. So what a District of Columbia at anyway? I see some schemers and some frauds in the USA. So what a District of Columbia at anyway? I see some schemers and some frauds in the USA. This is your Yisra Nation and I got a message that come from the streets. We can no longer be silent. We can no longer be weak. We can no longer suffer defeat from Ashkenazis trying to be me, trying to say that they the real Jew, when they only look Jewish to me. Judas to see what they do know. Don't you know Jews for Judah, bro? Don't you know Judah's a tribe of the nation of Yisrael? Who we gon' do this for? We can no longer suffer defeat from Edomites be what they want us to be. We gotta be the most high chosen nation, cause that's the nation we was chosen to be.